Let's take a hypothetical, and I know you wrote an article on this. Say David Ojabo, who tore his Achilles at his pro day, is there at 44. Your thoughts on the Browns potentially taking him?
I wanted to write about it because I think it's such an interesting conundrum, right? Like, this was a guy who was going to be, I think, universally viewed as a top 15, maybe even a top 10 pick before that injury at Michigan's pro day. Now, according to initial reports, he could be out anywhere between 6 and 9 months. That means he could, maybe potentially not get back to doing football stuff until December. That's a long time, but he does obviously have that first round talent. So I'm just kind of curious if in this situation, if the Browns would consider taking him. For me, it becomes more enticing if they are able to get Jadeveon Clowney back, and then you're not necessarily relying on a David Ojabo right away. I also think that's interesting because he's only played football for about 5 years. He discovered it when he was a junior in high school. He was born in Nigeria. He spent a large portion of his childhood in Scotland before he came over to New Jersey to attend high school. And he discovered football as a junior in high school and then made it to Michigan. He only played 26 defensive snaps at Michigan in his first 2 years and really blossomed this year. I think there are some questions about his game, like if he can really be effective against the run, if he can handle defenses throwing more attention at him, because he didn't have to worry about that playing alongside a potential #1 pick in Aiden Hutchinson. But overall, just a really, really solid athlete, I think, who has a ceiling that we can't even begin to comprehend, which is why I think it's such an interesting question if he falls that far. For me personally, I think the risks might be a bit too high and the Browns could afford. I think I would rather see them trade up and get a receiver that they really like and get that help now. And then, we saw Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett on social media this weekend. Looked like there was some lobbying going on. Looked like, Jadeveon might want to be back here. And then your situation at edge gets more deep. You have some more room to play. But the Ojabo question for me is very, very interesting going into this weekend and seeing how far he falls and where he lands.
Yeah, and again, top 10, top 15 talent. You got to weigh that without question.
Yeah.
Ashley Bastock.
It's hard to pass it.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. If you can get top 10 talent at 44, that goes a long way.